reminded you that you are perfect, would you argue me down or step into your perfection? Welcome to Perfect Mode, where there are no excuses, no expectations, and we explore the world without limitations. I'm Jay Clay, rapper, the spiritual teacher, with my co-host Troy Washington, your friendly neighborhood realtor. Let's be real, so let's be perfect. Perfect mode. Everything, anything, many things, plenty things, perfect. Everything, anything, anything, plenty things, perfect mode. Everything, anything, many things, plenty things, perfect mode. Everything, anything, anything, plenty things, perfect mode. Perfect mode, 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 everything, anything, many things, plenty things, perfect mode, perfect mode, everything, anything, anything, plenty things, perfect mode.
Perfect.
What up? Welcome to Perfect Mode. And first off, let me start by saying that we love y'all and we're grateful for the opportunity to be anywhere, sharing our thoughts, hopefully, and helping you realize that you are perfect. And the reason why I can say that unapologetically is because I know that you are one of one, numero uno. You cannot be replicated, duplicated. And the only reason, and I mean the only reason you think that you're not perfect is if you're looking at this person next to you and saying, I'm not them. But guess what? You are you. And that's all you need. And of course, it's yours truly, Troy Washington, your friendly neighborhood realtor. And I have my boy Jay Clay, spiritual rapper and teacher. And we about to get on here and talk about breaking free from the prison of people pleasing. Man, I love the tongue twister. What up, Jay?
Ooh, what up? Happy Sunday to all my perfect people here at the perfect place at the perfect time. Ready to get into it. I just want to say real quick, that link that's in the description, no matter where you're looking from, you can click it to see all our upcoming episodes so you don't miss the one that's just uniquely for you, as they all are. But yeah, man, I'm as always, I'm excited about this topic, the breaking free of the prison of people pleasing, because I was once in that prison as a youth, you know.
Now, the funny thing is, bro, like, I don't feel like I'm a people pleaser per se,
Yeah.
but in certain instances, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think that I'm, you know, when you look at me, my life and the way that I live holistically, I'm not really a people pleaser, but there are instances where I fall into the bucket that I definitely want to make sure that I address, and you know, just talk to everybody's gonna address those as well.
Yeah, with you. Let's jump into it. What is people pleasing? Why do we do it? And for everybody watching, I want y'all to think about like when's the last time you said yes to something you didn't want to do just to avoid disappointing somebody. But go ahead.
Now, funny thing, bro. Just here recently, we had a party at our house for I'm not even sure. It was just a family get together. We just having a family get together at our house, and we don't really ever do anything at our house. Biggest thing about it is when my brothers got the invite, they literally looked at the invite and said, "What? Troy having something at his? Okay, I for sure got to go to that." And it number one, it let me know again from that standpoint, that's a realm where I know that I'm not a people pleaser. I don't necessarily do things in order to be around people. I be around people that I just be around in a sense. But when it comes to being breaking free from being a people pleaser, I think it ties to the satisfaction of what I feel like I can make people get out of things that you do for them, trying to control the result or the way that they respond to a result. But go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I found a good definition for it. Putting others' needs, opinions, and approval above your own to avoid conflict, rejection, or disapproval. Quote, people pleasing is the art of losing yourself in service to others. And man, that's strong, because I know we always talk about being of service to others because it's so rewarding. But there is a fine line if that service is causing you to feel, I don't like you're under the strain of things. Like if it's too much. To give a cool example of where I almost was met with people pleasing was this Friday. So like Friday afternoon, for some reason, all my clients hit me up at the same time. Like, y'all never hit me up. And it's Friday and this in the holiday, like what's going on? Like everybody just wanted something different. And I like some of the stuff I was cool with doing because I normally do a little bit of work every day. But I was like, everybody, nah, this it's too much. Shut down everything. I was like, nah, I gotta go get my mind right. And that's what I did. And then I was able to just do things at my own pace, which was really fulfilling. But this could have turned into a dark weekend because I could have resented all of them for reaching out to me. I mean, they just asking for what they normally would ask for. But it's on me, just like it's on you to discern what's best for you at your current state. But yeah, go ahead.
And again, so number one, I think it's tight that you took a second away so that way you can gather yourself and put it in the perspective that you need for you to be able to operate. So I think that's important to highlight, just because that's kind of how we should operate all the time. Whenever something becomes overwhelming or it doesn't look the way that we need to, just kind of just step back just to be able to reframe it. But again, I think for me, it's more tied to the result. So just given what I mean as an example, you might say, Troy, can you do this for me? And then I'll do it, but I might not be satisfied with what I think you will be looking for with the finished product. And so what happens is I become a prisoner to the service of trying to create something that I don't even know if it's what you're looking for anyway. And I think that's kind of how I become a prisoner to things, because I find myself doing that a lot in a lot of instances. But go ahead, Jay.
So wait, just to clarify, so it's like you're saying that you're being a perfectionist for somebody else, almost like let's say I need you to, I don't know, let's just say build a house. You build the best possible house you could ever build. Just cause I got you.
Yeah. So and to me,
okay.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And to me, that I think that's a form of people pleasing that don't realize that they fall into. Because again, one thing that I know on this journey that we're going on, we're always thinking for other people. And that's also when it comes to results, which is one of the reasons why we would be stagnated and not do something, because we would feel like the result is not going to be up to par with what the expectation could be. And so now you end up being overwhelmed by the magnitude of something that you don't even realize because you don't know it.
Yeah. So, okay. Why do you think people please? Where does that come from? Is it, are we born with it? Do we want to just please everybody? What is that?
I think it is in our innate nature to make people happy. Like, I think ultimately the way that it's supposed to look is the way that we're supposed to seek to make people happy is by using our gifts. So whatever our gift is, we do that to the max, and that's going to bring the joy that it's supposed to bring. But I think what happens is we get into doing other things and we mistake that for our gift, because the only thing that we can do perfectly is what's ours, right? And what's mine is mine, and it's just how it's supposed to be. Yeah. And so when we, I guess, reach outside of ourselves and we start doing other things, we still feel the same as if it's our own creation.
All right. So when you said gift, you made me frame it in a different way, because I was thinking. So I'm thinking about my gifts, the things I offer. But when you think of gift giving, you give the gift and that's it. Like, you don't care what they do with it. Look, I gave you this gift. You can take it back if you want to. Here's the receipt. You can keep it, play with it, whatever you want to with this gift. But then, like me with music and these ongoing gifts, a part of me wants people to handle it a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, not disregard it or certain things. So, but what is that? Like, what's the thing that makes us then focus more on that and forget about the gift itself? Because now we want to make sure they use the gift right, instead of just saying, here's your gift. I don't care what you do with it. And I know this is the other side of people pleasing, but it still needs to be talked about.
Because again, I don't know this, but I'm just saying it's because
you froze on me a little bit.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Our innate nature to want to see people be their happiest. Now, a lot of times when we're trying to do that, we don't realize the way that we see it is not the way that they're going to see it or they can see it. So, I think that's a part of people pleasing. Like, our innate nature just to be like, this person, if they can get it this way, then it's going to be supreme bliss. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my thought.
But check this out, right? So, okay. because it's almost two different things against each other. So use the example of me and my music. Okay, I want people to receive it a certain way so that they can transcend, their blocks. But then there's a part of me that's like, I want everybody to share it. I want everybody to love it. I want everybody to jam this music all the time. And it doesn't come about it's not about the gift anymore. It's about my own happiness. But I'm putting my happiness in how they use the gift instead of letting my happiness flow through the gift. And I don't even know what's that about, but it's interesting hearing those words come out like that.
Yeah, but the part again, I don't. This is just me just rambling in my mind based off what you just said. But again, that's another piece of it. Like, we don't know. Like, we're people pleasing with the intent to try to make someone happy. But the reality of it is we don't know what makes people happy, because it's not like in any given moment when I'm creating a song that I want, that I like, that is the beat that I chose, because everything in this beat sounded perfect to me. And then it's the cadence that I chose, everything sounded perfect to me. And then it's the words that I chose because everything sounded perfect to me. And you know what? This is the perfect song. And I want everybody to know that this is the perfect song because it's the perfect message. Everything is perfect. But then we never thought about what this next person that's tied to this wants. And so when you think about that, it's like, okay, how can I like just do my gift, right? I should just let it go. I shouldn't worry about the end result or how people receive it. And that's what I'm saying is a big problem for me is the result. Like, if this is not digested the way that I want it to be digested, then I have to change what I'm doing in order to make it be digested the way that I want it to be digested. And again, that's only the perfect world for me.
Yeah.
But it don't have to be if I change the way that I'm looking at it. And so again, and I'm talking about my music, right? Because this same thing that you're talking about is the same thing that I experienced. And so the beautiful thing about music, as an example, it sometimes come back to you. And I've thought to myself, how many times that song had to be played for somebody years later to come back to me and say, hey man, I still be listening to your music. And the thing is, I wanted thousands or millions of people to hear it, but the reality of it is it didn't look the way that I wanted it to look, but it didn't mean that it wasn't happening. But go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. So I was thinking about like being a kid, right? And how this was learned. And in a sense, we taught to behave and be like, when you think about what behave means, it's really, they want you, it's like you're supposed to act in accordance with what somebody deems acceptable behavior. Whether it's truly acceptable or not, like who gets to decide what's truly acceptable? So you're rewarded for acting a way that somebody else deems you to behave. And in some ways, like maybe you crave that, you become like addicted to that positive reinforcement of behaving how somebody else wants you to behave, or someone wants you to act. So like somebody comes up to you for a favor, let's say you can't do it or you don't want to do it, but you like, I want this reinforcement without even knowing. You say yes, and then while you're doing it, you resenting the whole situation, you resenting this person. Why did I say I was going to do this? Never again. I'm not going to do this no more. And then you do it again. And it's this cycle, and then you provide it for them, and then you're still not even fulfilled to the satisfaction that you're fulfilled. And so it's almost like, again, why do we keep doing this rather than be honest with ourselves, be honest with them? Like, now I can't right now, or I can only help in this way. I'll be happy to. And when you do it, you're not creating all this negative feedback around it. You're like, oh yeah, let me do this for this person. I can do this real quick. This is in my wheelhouse. I don't mind doing this. And it's a different energy. So yeah, it's something to think about.
No, it's a lot to think about. Like, again, bro, like I just started here again. The crazy thing is we all just want to see the next person happy. Like, we all just, like, whether we recognize it or not, like, even if I were to do a reel or a TikTok, right?
Yeah.
I have already imagined an emotion that I expect people to feel when they see me. Like, oh, they're gonna laugh at this one, or they're gonna do like you ultimately are trying to evoke something anytime something comes out of your body. And so like the thing is we're determining on what that we're trying to dictate what that is, not recognizing for ourselves that we don't know what people want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And again, that's fine. But I think the key here, and that's why I salute you, why I salute anybody that does what they love to do. Ultimately, I don't know how many people listen to your music. I think that a lot do. But you have somebody that's close to you that loves your music. That's me. And I don't tell you to do that mug for the sake of pleasing you. It's literally I'm a fan of your music.
Yeah.
And so the thing that that we have to trust when it comes to people pleasing is that if we do what we love to do, then the appreciation that we're seeking may not look the way that we want it to look. And it doesn't mean that we can't work toward that, but it doesn't mean that it's not there. And so like, I'll go ahead, Jay.
But well, I was gonna respond to that and kind of bring in the next topic of why people pleasing feels like a prison. So like so based on what you were saying, I play basketball Sunday mornings this morning, and there's some days where let's say I mess up, I lose the ball or miss an open shot or something. Part of me is like I'm harder on myself because I know I disappointed my teammates. Now, again, I don't know this for sure. This is just all in my mind that I disappointed them. But when I start to get in that spiral, it really does feel like a prison where I can't play my game anymore because I'm like, dang, I'm all in my head. But there are times where I miss an open shot. I don't care. I'm gonna go do it again. I'm gonna get the ball back, do what I need to do, and I'm free. And I kind of want to talk about like that prison that just so how we can recognize that we're in it so that we can easily get out of it. Yeah, what would you say to that?
So, man, okay, so to come to the end real quick, to answer how to get out of it, I don't know the answer to that other than listening to people that help you recognize it. And the reason why because number one, I love your basketball analogy story. I love your basketball story. Basketball always bring me in. I literally have seen this happen in real time. My son, right? Now, mind you, this you for a fact too. My sons go out and shoot the basketball almost every day. Like we always working on our shot, working on our form, working on our form. And so when it's a coach-led team by me, he can get out there and he'll be a loose and he'll shoot the ball. And you can see that he's really a shooter. He's gone and played on some other teams, 2 other teams, his school team and another, AAU team that he plays for. These teams, he will not shoot the ball, right? He would not shoot it, bro, because he was worried about what his teammate, literally, he told me this. He's worried about what his teammates are going to think if he's shooting the ball and he's missing, like nobody else misses, right? And so exercises that I had to do with him was I sat down and I said, we're going to count all the shots that everybody take on the team, and then we're going to count their misses. And I want you to see how many misses they get. And I wanted you to see how many of the misses were yours. And so we would do things like that so he could recognize it, right?
Yeah.
And again, so much so, there was one time in the game where he was wide open and he looked to the coach and said, can I shoot it? And then shoot the ball after that and make the shot. And it's just, it's the prison was, he was afraid to play and be in his own game, right?
Man.
Afraid to play and be in his own game. Go ahead, Jay.
No, that like that right there applies to so much. Like just life is really being in your own game and enjoying your own game. Because we talk about this all the time, how we're all in our own worlds. And we're supposed to be. We see things differently. We have different wants. And of course, the person across town is going to seem crazy to us because they have a different set of beliefs. But the thing is, we're trying to live in their world from our world. And it's like, nah, live in your world. Create and be and enjoy your world and stop trying to live for everybody else's because you're not going to fit in there at all. And the freer you do things and allow yourself to make mistakes, the more fun life is, and the more you don't care, and the quicker you can surround yourself around people where y'all all gonna mess up around each other, but none of y'all care because y'all all having fun, and that's all that matters. And you still have your goal in mind, like in that case, to win the basketball game, because nobody wants to miss. You know what I mean? Like nobody goes up and says, "I want to miss, so let me shoot." You know, like everybody's trying to get their version of hit the mark. And so it's like, yeah, why even care about all that?
Now, this is what's funny about the story too, and again, the breaking free part. Just one day in his own basket on his own team, he came down the court, he shot the first shot, he missed it. They got the rebound, kicked it right back out to him. He missed it, right?
Mhm.
And I, in my mind, said, "Oh, he's not shooting anymore in this game. Like, it's just not gonna happen." Then they the rebound again somehow and kicked it back out to him. He shoots it and hits the three, right? Then he comes down the court and hits the next shot. Then he hits the next shot. And he realized that the misses weren't bad. I'm glad he got the misses out the way early.
Yeah.
He got beyond that. He got hot. You get what I'm saying? And so he scored like 9 points like within like 4 or 5 minutes. It was real quick. And so it just go to show that, once you are able to break out of that prison, then you get back to the joy of what you were planning on being and doing anyway. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, in the story I shared earlier, where it was like too many people asking me for requests at one time. It was like I shut down in a sense, but for my own good. And because I was able to do that, I was able to enjoy the rest of my weekend. I was able to respond slowly when I chose to. Because I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't respond right away. It's not the end of the world if you don't meet someone's request right away. If somebody asks for a favor, no matter how close. And for some reason, we sometimes think it is, but it's not. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. And the most important thing is that we remain cool enough, calm enough to see the joy in all of it. And because of that shutdown, it forced me to play more this weekend instead of try to have, just let me work, let me be productive, which I was last week, but I don't need to carry that to the weekend as well. It's, balance. So I was grateful for that as well. And that's the key, like reframe things, take that step back to reanalyze everything and what really means the world to you.
And to, just adding to that, like I just love the framing. And I like the fact that you did your story. Like you literally like, okay, let me look at this. But the other part again is like understanding. I know I may have not said this clearly, but the thing is, what has to happen for someone to be truly pleased? What has to happen for you to be truly pleased? And so when you're in that prison, if you can recognize, I don't know what this person wants, whoever it is or whatever it is. Like, even in using my son shooting as an example, I don't want to shoot because I think if I miss how many shots, what's the breaking point for your coach? You don't even know. He never said, hey, if once you miss 4 shots, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know. And so you're in a prison that you don't even understand how to even resolve the issue. And so you have to recognize that so that way you can, break free. And again, one more thing I'll say, TJ's basketball coach said something to him in a game that I loved. He said, I don't care if you miss 64 shots. I want you to keep shooting. 64 shots is not an amount of shots that anybody ever shoots in a game. Yeah. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? And so for me to say that it doesn't matter how many shots you shoot, I want you to keep shooting, that lifted a pleasing or the expectation that you have to please somebody off of him. But go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. And there are also instances where, like, in families and things, or just like close-knit situations. Well, I guess you can also say in a team too, where a person is trying to anticipate other people's needs and meet them. Like that's that form of people pleasing. And to put it in basketball's sake, it's like your son saying, okay, well, I know this person likes it here. I'm going to feed them all first, even though I'm wide open and nobody's guarding me. Instead of taking my shot, I'm going to make sure they all, get their stuff, which is it's cool, but as long as you're taking your shots too. And again, like how do we recognize that too? Because sometimes the people can be taking that for granted for somebody that's always trying to please them, but it's not even on purpose. They just so worried about their own shot that they're not even thinking of terms of others. Whereas there's nothing wrong with thinking about others, but just make sure you're thinking about yourself as well, or even more, because you are more important than others, because in a way they are all in your world from your point of view.
So I'm gonna keep it in basketball. Now, you know, I'm a LeBron guy, but I'm gonna talk about Jordan here, right? And I was a Jordan guy before I was a LeBron guy. But this is just to kind of emphasize your point. Everybody knows that Jordan was a score first guard. Everybody. That was what he did. Like, he was not worried about anybody else except for him first. But him being so involved with himself first provided opportunities for other people, which he had no choice but to share. Like, so much about himself, he ended up having no choice but to share. And the result of that was ultimate victory for everybody. Everybody had a story to tell within that. And again, that means everybody became as significant or as important as they would have perceived him to be if that's what they were seeking to do. I know, there's little stories. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, speaking of that, like I've been rewatching The Last Dance actually right now, because again, I watch it once a year, and he spoke on that. He was like, yeah, he realized he reached all the accolades. I think Phil told him that, but you gotta make it available, trust your teammates. And he was still taking care of himself, but like you said, like he started to trust, he started to pour into them, but he first made sure he was tight. He made sure he was right, and he wanted people to do the same thing for themselves. Like, you got this opportunity, make sure you're right for you so that we can all be right for each other.
How can you master pleasing someone else if you haven't mastered pleasing you? Like, again, I'm gonna go back to the point that I've been making and saying that we don't know what people are looking for, right? But the question is, do you know what you're looking for? Like, in using Jordan as the example, he knew exactly what he wanted, and the reality and the result of that was others being involved. Like, he wanted the acknowledgments, he wanted the money, he wanted the endorse, he wanted all the stuff that he ended up getting. But the thing that he did was him. He was like, I'm going, and I'm saying this because I look at the stuff, and I know you do too. Like, I'm going to be like Kobe, and I'm gonna go to one spot, and I'm gonna work on that spot for an hour every day, just that one spot on the court. I'm going to, like, this is where you're going to not be able to stop me no matter what. And I don't care. Anytime I get the ball, I'm going there, and you're going to have to make me stop. And I'm going to be so good there that I'm going to make everybody around me better because I'm that good. That's when you start to really please people, when you please yourself that way. I like it, Jay.
You touched on the key thing that I think the reason a lot of people may people please that might not want to, or in a sense, because they don't know what they want. And so when you don't know what you want, you're amazed by those that do. Like, you almost want to lend yourself to them because, like, wow, they're so definite in their purpose. They know exactly what they want out of life. I just want to be a part of that because maybe it might help me know what I want out of life. And so it's easy to not pay yourself any attention when you're paying everyone else attention, when you're not in touch with yourself. And so that's one key thing that needs to be addressed, is really getting to know you and what you want, and even taking the time to try out some stuff, because you might not know. Like, I know a lot of what I want, but there's a lot I still don't know, and I'm still willing to find out, and that's part of the fun as well. So that, I think that's a key thing in the whole people pleasing matrix. Know what you want first.
And then the question that you have to ask yourself is, why not spend that time that you're trying?
Froze on me.
Bro, this year, I'm gonna tell you something. Oh, my bad. Now, I froze because I actually froze. I wasn't saying nothing. but one day this year, already in 2025, I know it's only 5 days in, I sat down and said, I want to think something all the way through for me. And I wrote out this whole plan, and I sat down and I thought for as long as I possibly could the details that I possibly could think of. And then I thought about the details of the details. And I thought about the details of the details of the details. And in me doing that, let's say I probably spent, I don't know, maybe 2 hours, bro. Like, because again, it's only based off the knowledge that I know or know what I know to look up, right? And so I probably spent 2 hours and I got this fully elaborate, detailed plan on how to execute something, right? And then I think to myself, everything in our life, we can really be that for me. You know what I'm saying? We can really be that detailed for ourselves. But that's where we feel like there's a shortcut by not focusing on that and then looking and trying to help other people achieve that too. Again, not knowing what people want. But go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about it, because we're talking about how to break free from people pleasing. And so yeah, like again, like writing out what you want, or just having something like a general thing, like, okay, I want this for this month. This would be my focus this month, or this would be my focus for this year, or even for today. And so then when people come with all these requests, you can see it through the filter of, does this take me away from doing this, or does it add to it? And if it's add to it, it's an easy yes. If it takes away from it, let them know, like, look, I got this today. You can help me finish this, and then I can get to this quicker. But if not, you'll just have to wait. And any reasonable person should understand that. And if they don't understand that, it's like, well, hey, I can't help you. You're not being reasonable. You're not respecting my time, but you want me to respect your time. And again, like, you don't have to get mad at somebody. You don't have to resent them. It's just as simple as knowing what you want and living your life according to that.
And I also want to kick a shout out to people pleasing that actually makes you happy. Because again, I think there's and I'll give you an example. Yesterday was Saturday, right?
Yeah.
I normally have games every Saturday, every Sunday. Like, we always going. So anytime when we have a Saturday off, it's like Christmas. It's like it's a celebration. So, yesterday we didn't have a game. And so one of my kids, it's not my kids, one of my best friend's sons had a game, and his game just happened to be the furthest that a game could be on that it can be possibly for me to want to go to it without having to feel like I got to go out of town, right? But it was really, really far, 45-minute drive, I'll say it like that. And this is my day off. I don't really want to go nowhere. But the thing that I knew for myself was, I want to go to the game because I want to make the kid happy. But I know making the kid happy was ultimately going to make me happy. It made me feel good to be there, even though it was my day off, even though I didn't want to do anything that day. To make him happy was one of the things that actually did make me happy. And so again, I feel like it's simple because it was simply something that I know that would make him happy. It was no guesswork. I knew that being at the game would please him. So I wasn't going on a witch hunt to figure something out. Go ahead, Jay.
So, okay, I assume he was happy to see you, but what if, I'm just curious, what if he wasn't? What if he didn't even care? Like, what if he just didn't even acknowledge you? Would that have changed how you moved in the future? Or would you have resented the kid? And I know you won't resent the kid, but I'm just, what I'm trying to ask.
So on the flip side of it, and again, I feel like I still would have been happy because I would have got to see him play. Because I see him play with his team to see how it's fun. I want to see, I've coached him. How is he going to, is it anything going to roll over? Like, all of that stuff I did want to see. But again, ultimately, the people pleasing part of it is, I feel like, what got me over the hump. But again, if he wasn't happy, I still would have been okay.
That's good. Because that's key too. Because again, like a lot of times our happiness can rest in someone else, but it shouldn't. But we allow it to. We say, here, hold my happiness right now and make sure you treat it well. And then when you don't, I'm mad at you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you made me mad, but it's like, no, like we are in control of our own happiness, and we shouldn't place it in places that it has no business being. So the fact that you knew that, this is what I wanted to do because I wanted to do it, and it has the added bonus of making others feel good too. Is going to make me feel good too. So I'm going to have that added bonus as well.
Real talk. Yep. But I had to throw that out there because I know sometimes, again, in my mind, the way I see it is the two different ways. I got people pleasing where I'm doing something in the act of not knowing what's going to please somebody. And again, a lot of times, and even in the example that I just gave, you just said, what if he didn't even care that I came? You know, like we're doing things, but we're not knowing. And I think that, you know, number one, if you do want to get in the act, get out of the act of it, simple test for yourself would just to be like, hey, what do you expect from this?
Yeah.
You know, what do you think is going to happen if I do this? You know, just to see what somebody's idea is. And again, one of the things I told you, the coach told TJ by lifting expectation to free him from the people pleasing, he said, you can miss 64 shots. He said, you can go from 1 for 64. I want you to still keep shooting. And again, having a clear idea of what expectation is, if I'm trying to please somebody, you know, it kind of changes the dynamic of it. But go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of an example, but do you have an example, or anybody watching as an example of a time you said yes to something that you didn't want to do and you did it, but it didn't really serve you at all? Like, is there an example of that? I know I have them. They're just not coming up right now.
Bro, anytime I go to a party, anytime I do anything at a club, like anytime, like, and again, I've done them over the years. Like anytime that I've gone, I am the most unhappy that I think I possibly could be. Like, and again, I know that's because of the history of all the things that we've done where, you know, you too many mashed potatoes and now you don't like the taste of mashed potatoes no more. I just can't stand mashed potatoes no more. But there have been times now where I've gone to the club with either, you know, my wife and her friends or my friends and their friends, and I'm literally there for the sake of them.
Yeah.
Like I literally just am there. But that answers the question, right? That's what you were asking, right?
Yeah, no, that's what I asked. Now, is there, because obviously, you know, you didn't like it, it didn't serve you, so you was like, man, I don't want to do that no more. Is there something you could have done differently in that situation to avoid it? Like would have just saying no sufficed? Is this something you felt that you just had to go no matter what?
So, okay. So here's the deal. I think that maybe the answer was yes at the time that it was yes, because it's something that's happened over time, right? It happens at some frequency, which I don't know what the frequency is, but I would say after I don't do a certain amount of things, then I would do something because I do want to be connected with these people that do these things, right? I just don't like to do them. You know what I mean? And so, of course, I could have said no. And do I think our relationships would have changed if I had not gone to these things? No, I don't think that they would have changed. But just out of the sake of just being a part of what they got going on, I did it.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense. And something came up too recently where, well, actually, I can't say that I didn't want to. Well, I didn't want to go, but I didn't care that I went. It was I think it was in my wife's friend's wedding or something. Like weddings and me, I have no business being there. It's why. But I went, and it was still fun because I mean I got to just see how other people interact. Like, I'm always people watching. I'm always fascinated by the choices certain people make at certain times. So it's not regrettable, but it wasn't going out of my way. But there are certain things that I know when asked at that time, is like, nah, I'm quick to say no, like so quick. They're like, man, you didn't even hear me out. I can't do it right now. Like, if you want me to do it today, I can't do it today. If it's a couple weeks, I got you. And it's knowing when to say no to people.
Oh, and so don't get me wrong. There are some things that are just an automatic no.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's again, and I'm telling you, in the club, I do not like the club, bro. I just, it's a place that So you asked earlier, you said, is there things that I could have done aside from saying no? Are there things that I could have done while I was there? Well, there have been things that I've tried to do while I was there, and each time I go, I might try something different because I'm trying to get over whatever the hump is in it. But no, I haven't found anything because in my mind, I've been served as much as I can be served in those places. I just look at it completely different. Again, I could change my mindset, but the problem in that is that I don't want to change my mindset because I've already had a mindset for that space. I don't go back again. And so it's just kind of one of those, catch-22s for me when it comes to being in the club. It's just using that as the example.
So, okay. How could people possibly handle the pushback? Because in some instances, they might not want to say no. They might not want to say, I'm not available to do this right now because, people like, what's wrong? I did this for you. Remember that time when so-and-so, like is there an easy way to handle it? Is it, or could we just be making this thing bigger in our mind, thinking that we have to say yes, or it's going to be massive pushback, or us feeling indebted to other people that we have to do certain things?
I think the answer to that is to trust that the people that you're saying no to are going to still see you as you at the end of it all. Yeah. And I think that's pretty much what it boiled down to. And I'm going to give you a real live scenario because this is, again, something that happens to me over and over again. At this party that we just had, the family gathering, I don't drink, just FYI. Now, when I say I don't drink, I say that tightly and loosely at the same time. Mm-hmm. So what I mean by that is I probably drink something once a year or twice a year, if that. And that's only for people pleasing my wife. That's the only reason. That's number one, right? But other than that, I will not drink. So at the party, everybody knows that I don't drink. Everybody know I'm not drink. Everybody, it's not no secret because you just know, right? But throughout the party, every so often somebody comes and say, "Hey, go ahead and hit this shot, Troy." Like it happens all the time. Like, and I'm telling every single person, no. And then, and again, I can say, man, if I don't do this, they're gonna think this, or if I don't do this, it's gonna happen. But I just, the party, they do the one big shot that you gotta take this. This is where we all in, like it's on and popping. And they look at me, and some people saying no with me, and some people still trying to push it, but I'm just determined, nah, I'm not doing that because I trust that regardless of what's going to happen, really what's pleasing to them. The most pleasing thing to them is me continuing to be who I am. And me trusting that is the reason why I'm able to free myself from AJ.
I love that. And again, they know you. For them being willing to ask you, they should be willing to accept your answer, which is key. One method that I use always, even in that situation, because a lot of times people know I'm not going to drink either. I'm not a drinker. I'm not going to be taking shots. I might drink once every 2 years, like on an anniversary trip for like one dinner, but that's it. But anyway, okay. The words okay will get you through so many things. I remember as a young intern, somebody came to me that wasn't my boss, was like, "Hey, I need you to do this thing." Oh, okay. Never did it, never heard from him again. I don't know, like, who are you? I'm not going to ask you to do anything. But the same thing with shots. Like let's say, man, get Jelani a shot, get J. Clay a shot. They give me a shot. Oh, okay. And everybody takes shot. Like, where you at? I'm like, I'm about to. Just give me a second. And then somebody else like, man, give me the shot, and they'll just take it. Like again, like once you make your stance known, if others don't accept it, it's all right. All you got to do is just say, oh, okay. You don't got to go back and forth. You don't got to argue with nobody. You don't got to be mad at them. They don't got to be mad at you. Oh, okay. And that's it. And it will get you through so much, even at work, for certain things that like my boss even asked me to do. And beforehand, like, man, I don't need to work on this project. I'm telling you, like, I'm not a good fit. I could do a lot more good on this project over here. You're like, no, I'm telling you. Oh, okay. And never got done. Somebody else picked up the slack. Everything worked out. But yeah, go ahead.
Bro, You hit that mug though. I can't even lie to you. That boy said, "Hey, I need this done." He said, "Oh, okay." I never seen him ever again. Now that's funny though. But for real though, again, that even goes to the point of saying when you're people pleasing, you don't know what the other people are expecting from you. You're guessing.
Yeah.
And the reason why you should know that is because you don't know what you want from you. At what point, imagine you're trying to be so intricate and detailed and get everything that this person wants, but you don't have intricacies and the detail that you have for yourself for you to get what you want. And like you just cannot play that trick on yourself. And again, I'm not saying in my mind, at least that's the way that I'm hearing it. It appears to me that I'm saying like, don't go around and be happy around people. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go around and if somebody asks you to do something, say yes to them or But again, I think that a part of it is, do you really want to do something? That's number one. Like, are you doing things that you don't really want to do? Do you expect other people to do things that they really don't want to do? Like, you don't know, but do you expect them? How do you feel about it? Why can't they feel the way that you feel about it? Is it okay? Do you feel like it's okay if you feel the way that you feel about it? Well, do you think that they would feel it's okay? Would you stop associating yourself with this person if they didn't, would give them the same grace? And again, that doesn't mean that you're going to have the outcome. The idea here is breaking yourself free from the prison of it all. Because if you can recognize that they're just like you, then you can also recognize that they can forgive if there is something negative going to come from it, or that they'll be okay just because they're okay. And then when you talk about breaking free and creating something or being the creator that you are and giving something to something that's going to please somebody, that's when you get to tap into that. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. And you made me think about too. So earlier we were saying how knowing what you want makes a difference, because you're not willing to just give up all your time and stuff for things that are against what you want when you know what you want. But there's another part of that too, is trusting that what you want is valid. A lot of times people might, they lessen themselves in their own eyes. They think, yeah, I want this, but it's not as great as this other cause that this person wants. Like, perfect mode, they're doing this thing to help, enrich people, and like everything is valid. Everything is valid. So because you want it, here's a good way to look at it. Like, we always want the higher power or God. We want God to help us achieve our goals. But the thing is, the passion for the goal, that's God given. Like talent, anybody can learn any kind of skills, but that passion for the goal is God given. So it's like you are already helped by God saying, here, I'm gonna give you this passion to want this to happen. So I say that whatever you desire on any level, it's supported, it's valid. Go after it, and it'll make it easier for you not to just people please unnecessarily.
Bro, so the thing that the question that you got to ask yourself, and again, you're 100, like you hit that mug, dog. The question that you got to ask yourself is, how can anybody invalidate what you want? Like, it's what you want. Like it's literally what you what you want. And like, how can anybody get in? Like, it's something that's beyond me. Number one, you know what I'm saying? And again, this is one of those reasons again that I love having kids, because I get to see a lot of this stuff real time, because you can't always recognize it when it's happening to you. But my kids, bro, like, I tell them all the time. Well, number one, I always ask them all the time, what is it that you want? And they continue to tell me the same thing, NBA. Now, again, there's a there's a part of us that has bought into what society has taught us, which is the invalidation, right? So I can easily say, well, hey, son, guess what? Your dad's only 5'10", and this is as big as my body's ever been. And if you just look at the odds, and there's so much that could come out of me to start to invalidate him and chip away at the armor that he has on. But what I get to do is tell him over and over again, you see how you want to go to the NBA, but everything around you is helping you get there. Like you got a dad that's out here with you all the time. You got a little brother to talk noise to you to help you block out the. You got, like when he's shooting free throws, Brody over there screaming at him, and I'm like, well, just ignore him. It's gonna happen in the games. You got everything working in your favor to get you to where you got to go. You just go, and again, it's apparent to me where it starts from. It's apparent to me how we hold on in the action and everything that's going on with my son. I can feel everything else tugging inside of me to say the opposite. But go ahead, Jay.
I love that, especially because we don't realize how much what we see as an opposition is actually helping us. And I love that you're pointing that out to them. And whenever you hear, people that society deems successful speaking about their story, they're saying how much they love the failures just as much as they love the successes, because it helped them to succeed. It helped them to discern what they really want. Like you may think you want something, but unless you have that opposition seeing, do you really want this, or will you turn away immediately? Like it all goes into this nice concoction of what you want of living your dream life. So I love that. Like, yeah, figure out what you want, stick to it if you really want it. If you don't anymore, it's cool. Then go attach yourself to what it is you want next, and just trust the whole process, and people please if it's in alignment with the life that you want, and the way that you want, but don't give them your happiness to serve for their needs. Like keep your happiness is your own. But yeah,
and again, to that I say that when you do that, when you please yourself, you end up pleasing people. When you do it to the best of your capabilities, number one, because and that's the reason why I like the Michael Jordan analogy. Is again, nobody looks at Jordan as a pass first person. Nobody. But Jordan had some of the biggest passing moments in basketball history. Like some of the biggest ones that have won championships.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that me being the best version of myself would have created that opportunity for somebody else? You know what I'm saying? We don't know we don't know Steve Kerr wanted to hit a game winner, but a part of his goal in life could have been, I just need to hit one game winner, right? So all I need to do is please myself by shooting as many shots as I possibly can. And eventually I'm going to get there. But everybody had different goals. Jordan wasn't trying to help him hit all the threes that he possibly could. He didn't. He just tried to hit as many twos as he possibly could. You know what I mean? And so I think that when you're serving yourself, and again, I'm saying this from the standpoint of what we've all agreed upon to be goodness, love, right? I know it's different, but for others, but for the people that I'm talking to, when I say serving yourself, this doesn't mean neglect of others. This doesn't mean that we're walking around and saying that nobody else matters. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that making yourself, pleasing yourself, putting yourself in its functioning in your top form, or whatever that equates to, you end up breaking free from the prison of people pleasing and actually pleasing people in a way that's pleasing to you.
Yeah. And so as we draw near the closing of this, what's one way, everybody watching, what's one way you're going to stop people pleasing this week? And again, there's a stipulation with that. Like Troy just said, all people pleasing isn't wrong. Like, but in the way where it does not serve you. What's one way you're going to stop people pleasing this week?
Well, I'll say this, and I know this is to everybody, but one thing that I know that I could do is sometimes do a deeper dive to see if something is serving me. Because sometimes you can be shut off at the root. You can just be shut off at the very beginning and be like, you know what, nothing, right? But that also goes into being doing a deeper dive within yourself to say what things are you shutting off from yourself and why. And so I think just doing a deeper dive on some things that I feel that are not serving to me, to see if there's a way that they can serve me.
Yeah. So I appreciate everyone that's rocking with us today on this topic of breaking free from the prison of people pleasing. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, share, subscribe, send it to people that you know, like, hey, you might need to chill on people pleasing right now. You need to watch this and get your life together. Not that your life is in disarray, but you know what I'm saying. And check that link that's in the description so you can see our upcoming topics for next week, which is, let me pull this up real quick. Go ahead, Troy, while I pull it up.
And I just want to add to it real quick. Just remember that nobody can invalidate what it is that you want. That doesn't mean that people are going to be in agreement with what you want, but invalidate it. And just because you do what you want, you cannot describe it as non-people pleasing, because I think other people's joy, just like our own is to please other people, our other people's greatest joy is to see you happy as well. So those times when you tell people no, or you decide to do your thing, if you are truly joyous in your decision, I promise you that the majority of people are going to be happy for you. They're going to remember that. They're going to remember you chasing their your joy, and they're also going to learn from that. You're going to create that same pathway for others if they don't already see it. But go ahead, Jay. You were finna say something.
Well, and just to add to what you said real quick, everybody loves a happy person. Like it just does. Everybody wants to be around a happy person, and everybody wants to join in and be a part of what happy people are doing. And so when you make that switch, people will then start asking you stuff that's aligned with what you want. So again, don't even take it personal when people ask you stuff that's not aligned. It's just to get you to see what you really want, what you should do. And next week's topic is why forgiveness is the shortcut to everything you ever wanted. But go ahead.
Man, I was going to start the show right now. Let me tell you about this forgiveness, baby. No, but real talk. I know we're at the end, but I just want to reiterate, and I'm saying this because I've been plagued with it myself. I've also, like I said at the very beginning, I've been a prisoner to even when I decided to do something for someone, being a prisoner to what I felt like the outcome should be, and it caused me to do things out of order. And so, I just encourage everybody to, when you decide to say yes, do it your way. That's what they were asking for anyway. They weren't asking for you to do it their way. And when you decide to say no, do it your way, because that's what everybody wants to see anyway. And, that's what I try to teach my kids. And the reason why I do that is because I wanted to reflect on me, just to remember to myself to do it my way. And my way is okay. And, that's pretty much the premise of the show all the time, is for you to remember that you are perfect. And the only reason that you think otherwise is because you're looking at other people, seeing the way that they move, the way that they do it, and judging and critiquing yourself in an unfair light, because the reality is the life that they've lived, you haven't lived. And every step that you've taken has been along a pathway that only you've been able to walk. And so because of that, you got to remember that, your way is the right way. It is it. But Jay, you can go ahead and take us out.
Remember that you are perfect. Man. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, my bad. Go ahead.
Remember that you're a perfect creation made by a perfect creator. So you might as well accept your perfection and enter perfect mode. Chill.
Yeah.
If I reminded you that you are perfect, would you argue me down or step into your perfection? Welcome to perfect mode, where there are no excuses, no expectations, and we explore the world without limitations. I'm Jay Clay, rapper, the spiritual teacher, with my co-host Troy Washington, your friendly neighborhood realtor. Let's be real, so let's be perfect.